So in this video, I'll be talking about power series expansion. So a power series is nothing but a series of this form, summation a n x to the power n and running from 0 to infinity. Uh, the thing about power series is that this is a function of x, and this is a function of x when this series converges for different values of x. That is, so you can substitute x equal to 0 here, or x is equal to 1 here, or x is equal to zero point 0.5 or whatever. And then in that case, this series is nothing but a n 0 power n, or summation a n 1 power n, or summation a n 1 by 2 power n, and so on. So for different values of x, this is a infinite series, and if this converges, then it defines a function of x. And similarly, so this is a power series centered at 0 because and this is a power series centered at x is equal to a, because you are taking x minus a whole power n in all the terms. So this is centered at x equal to a, and when you substitute x equal to 0, you get a power series centered at x equal to 0. So so given a power series summation a n x to x minus x naught whole power n, this is a power series, and the radius of convergence the radius of convergence of a power series is nothing but, so okay, so let's say that this power series converges for mod x minus x naught less than some number r, and it doesn't diverges for mod x minus x naught greater than r, then we say that radius of convergence is r. And the interval of convergence is all the values of x for which this series converges. That means x naught minus r to x naught plus r. And you also, it may be x naught minus r included and x naught plus r included, or may not be included, and this may be included, or this may be included and this may not be included. So if you have the radius of convergence, you can find the interval of convergence by separately checking the series for convergence at the endpoints. So for checking convergence, you will need all the tests that you have learned up to now, like the ratio test, or the root test, uh, alternating test, limit comparison test, or direct comparison test. All of this will be required to study about for a study of power series. So now, uh, so how do we find the radius of convergence of a power series? So first of all, we just use ratio test, and for the interval of convergence, we check at the endpoint separately. So we use ratio test or check at endpoint separately. So how do we use the ratio test? We'll just, so this is a series, right? Forget x, everything. This is a series of n terms. So for the ratio test, we need limit n tends to infinity. So this can be written as summation a n, where a n is a n times x minus x naught whole power n. So we need, for the ratio test, we need a n plus 1 by a n, which is nothing but small a n times x minus, so small a n plus 1 by small a n x minus x naught whole power n. So, and then also we'll take this mod, and we want this to be less than 1. From this, you will get an inequality of something like this, and then this r is nothing but the radius of convergence. And once you have the radius of convergence, you know that the power series will converge in this interval. After that, you have to check separately for the boundary points. Check separately for the boundary points, that is x naught minus r and x naught plus r. So that is how you use the ratio test and the endpoints and find the radius of convergence of a power series. So let's look at a few examples. So the first example that we have is summation 3x to the power n by n and running from 1 to infinity. So this is a power series, and so this can be written down as summation 3 to the n x to the n by n. So now this is a power series, it is of the form summation a n x to the power n, and now we want to find the radius of convergence and the interval of convergence. So for that we need limit n tends to infinity. A n plus 1 is a n plus 1 by a n, modulus of that is less than 1. So that means limit n tends to infinity. A n plus 1 is a 3 to the n plus 1 x to the n plus 1 by n plus 1, divided by an is 3 to the n x to the n by n. So, and we want this limit to be less than 1, so we need limit n tends to infinity 3 to the n plus 1 x to the n plus 1 by n plus 1 times n by 3 to the n x to the n less than 1. And now you can simplify this, you get, so this and this will cancel out, leaving just 3 in the numerator, and x to the n and x to the n will cancel out, leaving a remainder of x in the numerator. And furthermore, you have this limit to be less than 1. And now you know that limit n tends to infinity n by n plus 1 is 1 using L'Hopital's rule. So this can be written as 3x times limit n by n plus 1 is less than 1. So you need this limit. Okay, you, what is the value of this limit? It is equal to 1. Use L'Hopital's rule. So you have 3x times 1 is less than 1. So x is less than 1 by 3. So now this is the radius of convergence. So x is less than 1 by 3. So 1 by 3 is the radius of convergence. Now we want to find out the interval of convergence. So we know that the series converges. Oh, by the way, yeah, we need to put a mod here. So everywhere this will be a mod, and so mod x is less than 1 by 3, and this is the radius of convergence. 1 by 3 is the radius of convergence. So we know that series converges in the interval mod x less than 1 by 3, which is nothing but minus 1 by 3 to 1 by 3. And now for the interval of convergence, we also need to check at the endpoints. We need to check at the endpoints minus 1 by 3 and 1 by 3. So the series that we have is summation 3 to the n x to the n by n. This can be written as, so when you substitute, so first substitute x is equal to minus 1 by 3. So we are checking for endpoints. So first let's substitute x equal to minus 1 by 3. You get summation 3 to the n minus 1 to the n by 3 to the n by n. So this is when I substitute x equal to minus 1 by 3. This is what I get. So this can be written down as summation minus 1 to the n by n and running from 1 to infinity, because these two will cancel out. So this is the series when we substitute x equal to minus 1 by 3, and this series converges because of alternating series test. The alternating series test, for the alternating series test, will we if we have something like this, and so bn in this case is 1 by n, which is positive, and bn is decreasing because the series 1 by n is decreasing, and limit of bn is limit of 1 by n, which is 0. So that means the alternating series test tells us that summation minus 1 to the n by n converges, which means that the series converges when x is equal to minus 1 by 3. And when you substitute x is equal to 1 by 3, then you get summation 3 to the power n x to the power n by n is nothing but summation 3 to the n 1 by 3 whole power n by n, which is, so this and this will cancel out, and you have summation 1 by n, which diverges. It diverges because it is a p series and p is equal to 1. So now the final answer for the interval of convergence. So we know that the series converges for minus 1 by 3 to 1 by 3, and we have checked that at minus 1 by 3 it converges, and at 1 by 3 it diverges. So the interval of convergence is minus 1 by 3 included, but 1 by 3 excluded. So that is how you solve these questions. So now let's look at another example for this. So this is when you look at this example, you don't feel like this is a power series, because power series are of this form, right? The coefficient of x has to be 1, and and yeah, the coefficient of x has to be 1. So this can be written down as summation. If you take, so we want the coefficient of x to be 1, so we'll take the 2 out of this bracket. So you can write this down as 2 times x plus 1 whole power n by n cube. And now you can bring this 2 out of this power like this can be turned down as 2 to the n x plus 1 to the n by n cube, sorry, x plus half. So 2x plus 1 is 2 times x plus half, because this is 2x plus 2 times half, which is 1. So and when you bring this 2 out of this, you get 2 to the n x plus half to the n by n cube. And now this series can be thought of as 2 to the n, but you need a minus sign here. So we'll write this down as x minus minus half whole power n by n cube. And now we can see that this is a power series. This is our an, and x naught is minus half. So now we want to find out the radius of convergence. For that we'll use the ratio test. We want limit n tends to infinity, the n plus 1 term of this series, which is this. This is the n plus 1 term of this series, and the nth term of this series is this, and we want the ratio of mod n plus 1 by an to be less than 1. So that means we want this limit by 2 to the n x plus half to the n by n cube to be less than 1. And now when you like cancel simplify this, so this will cancel out, leave a 2 in the numerator, this will cancel out, leave one term in the numerator, and we have summation, sorry, limit n tends to infinity 2 times x plus half, sorry, modulus of that, modulus of x plus half times uh, n plus 1 whole cube by n cube is less than 1. That is what we want. And oops, this is uh, so we need limit n tends to infinity. After simplifying, we get this n cube by n plus 1 whole cube, and this is less than 1. So now you can, so all these terms are independent of the number n, so you can bring this out of the limit. And this limit is equal to 1. This limit is equal to 1 because it is of the form infinity by infinity. You can use L'Hopital's rule here. So you get 3n square by 3n plus 1 whole squared, which is 6n, and once again use the L'Hopital's rule. You get 6n plus 1, and then you have 6 by 6, which is 1. So this limit is equal to 1. I've used L'Hopital thrice, and so finally you have 2 times mod x plus half is less than 1. So which can be thought of as x plus half less than 1 by 2. So that means x plus half lies in minus half to half. So x lies in, so you subtract minus half in both sides, you get 0 to minus 1. So we know that the series converges in this. And now we want to check for boundary points, which is, or the end points, which is minus 1 and 0. So the series that we had was summation 2 to the n x to the n by n cube, and first we substitute minus 1 and then we substitute 0. So when we substitute x equal to minus 1, we get summation 2 to the n minus 1 to the n by n cube, and when you substitute x equal to 0, you get summation 2 to the n 0 to the n by n cube. Oops, sorry, this is I'm so sorry, this is x plus half to the n. So this is summation 2 to the n minus 1 plus half to the n by n cube, and this is summation 2 to the n 0 plus 1 to the n by n cube. So these are the two terms, minus 1 and 0, and you get this. So now you have summation 2 to the n. Minus 1 plus half is minus half, and 0 plus half is plus half. So now this can be written down as summation minus 1 to the n by n cube, because this 2 to the power n, 2 to the power n will cancel out, and you have just minus 1 to the power n remaining in the numerator. And here you have summation, so this 2 will cancel out, leaving 1 in the numerator. And you know that, so this converges using alternating series test. because 1 by n cube is positive and decreasing and limit is 0. So alternating series test tells us that this series will converge. And this series converges because this is the p series where p is equal to 3, which is greater than 1. So that's why both of them converge. So the interval of convergence is minus 1 to 0, and the radius of convergence is the length of this interval by 2, which is 1 by 2. Or as we figured out here, this number that we get is the radius of convergence. So now let's look at another example. So we'll do the same thing. So this is a power series, and so first we use ratio test. So while using ratio test, we have limit n tends to infinity. So the n plus 1 term of this is this number, and divided by the nth term is this. So this is can be written down as limit n tends to infinity n plus 1 factorial x to the power n plus 1 by square root n plus 1 by n factorial x to the power n by square root n. And so when you simplify this, sorry, mod everywhere. So when you simplify this, this can be written down as, and we want this limit to be less than 1. So when you simplify this, you get n factorial will cancel out n plus 1 factorial and leave n plus 1 term in the numerator. And this 2 will cancel out, leaving mod x. And finally, you have this limit, which has to be less than 1. So what is this limit? So mod x is independent of this, so you can bring mod x out. So now you're looking at the limit. So root n plus 1 and n plus 1 will cancel out, leaving root n plus 1 in the numerator times root n in the root n also in the numerator. And this limit is equal to infinity because this is infinity times infinity, which is infinity. So which means that mod x is like less than 1 by infinity, which is 0. So that means x is equal to 0 is the only option we have. So mod x is less than 0 means x is equal to 0 is the only option. So so that means the radius of convergence is 0, and the interval of convergence is just singleton 0, right? So now, so that means this series converges only for the point x is equal to 0 and nowhere else. So when you substitute x equal to 0, you just get 0, 0, 0, 0, and the series is 0. So, so it is also possible for the radius of convergence to be 0. And let's look at this example. So we'll do the same thing, use ratio test, which means we want this limit to be less than 1. So this will be the starting point always to find the radius of convergence. So that means this limit can be written down as, so once you simplify this, you get mod x minus 4 in the numerator and divide by n plus 1 in the denominator is less than 1. So this can be thought of as this. I can bring this mod x minus 4 outside because this doesn't depend on n, and this limit is 0. So that means mod x minus 4 is less than 1 by 0, which is infinity. Alright. So that means the radius of convergence is infinity. And so when the radius of convergence is infinity, then the interval of convergence will be 0 minus infinity to 0 plus infinity, which is just minus infinity to infinity, which means that this series converges for every x in R. For every x in the real numbers. So no matter what x you take, oh sorry, the this will be 4 minus infinity to 4 plus infinity, which is anyway minus infinity to infinity, and the series converges for all x in R. So no matter what value of x you take, this series will converge. So now we move to a new topic, finding power series expansion. So the point of this topic is that so if you have a function and you want to find its power series expansion, so for that we need this fact that the power series expansion of 1 by 1 minus x is summation x to the power n, which is just the geometric series result. So you know that summation 1 plus x square and so on plus up to infinity is just 1 by 1 minus x, a by 1 minus r, and this is true only when x lies between minus 1 to 1. So that is what you have here. This is the result for the geometric series. Now we are studying it in the context of power series. So the fact here is that given if you have a function whose power series is represented in this form, then in the interval of convergence you can integrate and differentiate this function, and the power series will just be the term by term differentiation. So that means if you have this and you want to differentiate this function, then you can just differentiate the terms individually. That is, you get the power series of f prime of x will be summation n a n x to the power n minus 1, which is just the term by term derivative of this series. And if you want to integrate this with, it is just the same result, you just integrate term by term. That means you just, if you want to integrate this, you just send this integral sign out inside this sum, and you get this a n x to the power n plus 1 by n plus 1. So and all of these operations can only happen in the interval of convergence. So now the question is that find the power series expansion of this, which is centered at x equal to 0. So if you want it to be centered at x equal to 0, you want something like summation a n x to the power n, because this is centered at 0. And you want the power series expansion of this and also the interval of convergence. So for all these questions, we need to use the fact that 1 by 1 minus y is summation y to the power n, and running from 0 to infinity, right? And the interval of convergence is minus 1 to 1. So for this problem, you can see that we need a minus sign in the denominator, and you have to substitute y is equal to x cube. So you want this series, you just take y is equal to minus x cube, then you get 1 by 1 plus x cube, which can be written down as 1 by 1 minus y. This is just summation y to the power n. And now you just take y is equal to minus x cube. So this will be summation y is equal to minus x cube. That means minus x cube whole power n, and running from 0 to infinity, which is just summation minus 1 to the power n x to the power 3n, and running from 0 to infinity. So this is the power series. And for the interval of convergence, we know that this is true when y is between minus 1 to 1. So as we did, we took y is equal to minus x cube, and we wrote down 1 by 1 minus y is summation y to the power n. And we know that this is true when y is between minus 1 to 1. Then we substituted y is equal to minus x cube. That means minus x cube is in between minus 1 to 1. So this just means that x cube is in between minus 1 to 1. And this means that x is in between minus 1 to 1. So therefore, interval of convergence is minus 1 to 1, and power series expansion is summation minus 1 to the power n x to the power 3n, and running from 0 to infinity. So this is our final answer. So now let's look at another example. This time we have x square by 1 minus 4x square, and we want to find the power series centered at x equal to 0. Then so we want to express it in 1 by 1 minus y form. So how do we do that? So we can do one thing, which is we take x square times 1 by 1 minus 4x squared. And if you can express 1 by 1 minus 4x squared in terms of summation a n x to the power n, then you can just multiply it with x square. So you get summation a n x to the power n plus 2, which is still a power series, right? So the idea is to find power series. So whenever you have something in the numerator which is a power of x, you don't need to worry. Just separate this out and find of whatever is remaining in the denominator, the power series expansion of 1 by 1 minus 4x squared. Because like this x square times 1 by 1 minus 4x squared can be written down as x square times summation a n x to the power n, which can be just written down as summation a n x to the power n plus 2. So you don't need to worry about this x squared. Okay, so how do we find out the power series expansion of this? So just like what we did earlier, you just take y is equal to 4x squared, and so then this can be written down as 1 by 1 minus y. This can be written down as summation y to the n, and running from 0 to infinity. And now you substitute y is equal to 4x square in this, you get n running from 0 to infinity 4x square whole power n, which is just summation 4 to the n x to the 2n, and running from 0 to infinity. So this is the power series expansion. And for the interval of convergence, we know that for this to happen, y has to be between minus 1 to 1. So that means 4x square has to be between minus 1 to 1. So that means x square has to be between 0 to 1 by 4. Because 4x square is a positive term, so 4x square will always be greater than minus 1. So I just removed that minus 1 and put it like greater than 0. So which means that x square is less than 1 by 4. So x is in between minus half to half. So this is our interval of convergence. Alright. So this is our power series, and this is our interval of convergence. That is how you do it. So now let's look at another example. This time we want the power series expansion of 1 by 2 minus x, and it is centered at x is equal to 1. instead of x equal to 0. So the power series expansion that we had was 1 by 1 minus y, and it was centered at, this was centered at 0. So we do this simple algebraic trick here. We can write this down as, so if you take something like y is equal to 1 minus x, then you get summation 1 minus x to the power n. Then this is centered at 1, right? So that is the idea here. So you can write this down as 1 by 1 plus 1 minus x. So this can be thought of as 1 by 1 minus x minus 1. So 1 by 2 minus x is nothing but this. And now you can take y is equal to x minus 1. So once you take y is equal to x minus 1, you have summation. So 1 by, so 1 by 2 minus x is nothing but 1 by 1, 1 minus y, where y is equal to x minus 1. So this is summation y to the power n, and running from 0 to infinity. And this is summation n running from 0 to infinity, x minus 1 to the power n. Alright, so this is the power series expansion of 1 by 2 minus x. And the interval is, uh, so for this to happen, we need y to be minus 1 to 1. So which means that x minus 1 is in between minus 1 to 1. So this means that x is in between, you add 1 on both sides, you get 0 to 2. So 0 to 2 is the interval of convergence. So now let's look at another example, which is log of 1 minus x. So here we use the fact that, uh, so you want to use the power series expansion of this, but how do you like take something like log is there? So the fact is that if you take f of x is log 1 minus x, then the derivative of f of x, which is f prime of x, is nothing but 1 by 1 minus x. Alright, so you know the power series expansion of the derivative of this function. So f prime of x can be written down as 1 by 1 minus x, which is just summation x to the power n, and running from 0 to infinity, and the interval of convergence is minus 1 to 1. But this is the power series of f prime of x, and you want the power series of f of x. Then you just integrate this, and we know that for integrating a power series, you just integrate this term by term. So f of x, which is log of 1 minus x, can be written down as summation n running from 0 to infinity x to the power n plus 1 by n plus 1. So this is our power series expansion, and the interval is minus 1 to 1. Right. So now let's look at another example. Log of 1 minus x squared centered at x equal to 0. So now we just do the same thing. We take f of x is log of 1 minus x squared. So the derivative of this is 1 by 1 minus x squared times minus 2x. So this can be written as minus 2x times 1 by 1 minus x squared. And so as I said, you don't need to worry about the numerator, just worry about the denominator, because once you have the power series of this, you can just multiply minus 2x everywhere. So the power series of 1 minus x squared is, well, it's just take y is equal to x squared. Then you have 1 by 1 minus y is summation y to the power n, which just means that 1 by 1 minus x squared is summation x square whole power n and running from 0 to infinity. So this is summation x to the power 2n and running from 0 to infinity, and x, and here y has to be between minus 1 to 1, which just means that x square is in between 0 to 1. So x lies between minus 1 to 1. Alright, so x lies between minus 1 to 1. So, and now the power series of f prime of x is minus 2x times summation x to the power 2n and running from 0 to infinity, which is equal to summation minus 2 times x to the power 2n plus 1 and running from 0 to infinity. And now this is the power series of f prime of x. So the power series of f of x will be, you just integrate this on both sides, you get minus 2 times x to the power 2n plus 1 dx and running from 0 to infinity. So this is n running from 0 to infinity minus 2 x to the power 2n plus 2 by 2n plus 2. So this is our final answer. So this is the power series of f of x, which is log of 1 minus x squared. Right? So that is how you solve this, and the interval of convergence is, we calculated earlier, it is minus 1 to 1. So now let's look at another example, x to the 5 by 1 minus x whole squared. So like I said, we know that 1 by 1 minus x is uh, summation x to the power n. But what about 1 by 1 minus x whole squared? So, well, if you know that the derivative of 1 by 1 minus x is, so the derivative of 1 by 1 minus x is 1 by 1 minus x whole squared, right? So, also we don't need to worry about this x power 5, we can just multiply it later. We just need the power series expansion of this term, the numerator denominator. So x to the power 5 by 1 minus x whole square. So yeah, as I was saying, you know that the power series expansion of 1 by 1 minus x is summation x to the power n and running from 0 to infinity. So that means if you, this is f of x, if you take the derivative of this, you get 1 by 1 minus x whole squared, which is equal to summation, and you just take the term by term derivative of this. Alright, so that means f prime of x is nothing but summation n equal to 0 to infinity n x to the power n minus 1, which is the power series expansion of this. So now the power series expansion of x to the power 5 by 1 minus x whole squared is x to the power 5 times this power series. So you just increase the powers everywhere with 5. So you get n running from 0 to infinity n times x to the power n plus 4. And the interval of convergence, well, so where did we use the power series first? We use this here, right? And this is true whenever x lies between minus 1 to 1. So all of this will be true whenever x lies between minus 1 to 1. So that means the interval of convergence is minus 1 to 1, and this is a power series. Alright, so now let's look at another example. Here we have tan inverse x squared. So as I said, so the derivative of tan inverse x squared is, if you take f of x is equal to tan inverse x squared, then the derivative of tan inverse x squared is 1 by 1 plus x square whole squared times 2x, which is just 2x by 1 plus x to the 4. Alright, so we don't need to worry about this, we just need to worry about this. So 1 by 1 plus x4 can be written down as 1 by 1 minus x to the power 4. And now you just take y is equal to minus x to the power 4. You get 1 by 1 minus y is summation y to the power n. So that means 1 by 1 minus minus x to the power 4 is summation x to the power minus x to the power 4 whole power n. So this can be written on as summation minus 1 to the power n x to the power 4 n running from 0 to infinity. And now, so this is the power series expansion of 1 by 1 plus x 4. And so that means the power series expansion of f prime of x, which is 2x by 1 plus x to the power 4, is 2x times summation n running from 0 to infinity minus 1 to the power n x to the power 4n. So this can be written down as summation n running from 0 to infinity minus 1 to the power n x to the power 4n plus 1 times 2. Alright, so that is because like x times x to the power 4n is x to the power 4n plus 1. You just distribute this x over this sum. But this is the power series expansion of f prime of x. So what will be the power series expansion of f of x? Well, we just need to integrate this. So f prime of x can be written down as summation minus 1 to the power n 2 x to the 4n plus 1, right? So that means the power series expansion of f of x is just the integration of this, which is integration of this power series, which is just, you can interchange this summation and integration in the radius of convergence. You get this. And so like I said, if you want to integrate a power series, just integrate them term by term. So you get summation n running from 0 to infinity 2. Oh, okay, so I forgot this minus 1 to the power n times minus 1 to the power n times x to the power 4n plus 2 by 4n plus 2. And now this can be simplified as, so you can divide by 2 on the numerator and denominator. You get this by 2n plus 1. So this is our final answer. And remember that we took y is equal to minus 4x squared when expanding the power series. So we needed y to be minus 1 to 1. So that means minus 4x is between minus 1 to 1. So which means x squared is between, uh, so this just means that x squared is between 0 to 1 by 4. So x is in between minus half to half. So this is a interval of convergence. Oops, oops, oops. No, I didn't take this. We took y is equal to minus x to the 4. This is just wrong. Just ignore this. We took y is equal to minus x to the 4. So that means minus x to the 4 lies between minus 1 to 1. So then x will also lie between minus 1 to 1. So this is our interval of convergence, minus 1 to 1. Alright, so that was the final question.